The entire world is already in the throes of severe climate change. The length of summer is increasing everywhere while the period of hospitable and winter season cool enough is rapidly shortening. Let's look at Europe for example. A new report from the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service has clearly said that the climate crisis has had frightening impacts in Europe last year, with heat waves killing more than 20,000 people. This report has also highlighted one more important aspect: the possible return of El-Nino. It has said that the return of El-Nino this year after a gap of 3 years is highly likely, and the world could reach a new average temperature record this year or perhaps next year. In this video, we explain to you what is this El-Nino that the climate scientists have sounded alarm over and how it might exacerbate the already critical situation. But before that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Oneindia. El-Nino and La Niña, these two phenomena is observed more prominently in the Pacific Ocean. La Niña is just the opposite of El-Nino. The term El-Nino means the boy child or the Christ child in Spanish, as it affects the oceanic currents during Christmas. Pacific has greater width than Atlantic or Indian Ocean, so the changes observed here are just more conspicuous. During normal conditions in the Pacific Ocean, trade winds blow west along the equator, taking warm water from South America towards Asia. To replace that warm water, cold water rises from the depths in a process called upwelling. Now, El-Nino and La Niña are two opposing climate patterns that break these normal conditions. They are cumulatively referred as the El-Nino Southern Oscillation Cycle or the ENSO cycle. Episodes of El-Nino and La Niña typically last 9 to 12 months but can sometimes last for years. These events occur every 2 to 7 years on average, but they don't occur on a regular schedule. Generally, El-Nino occurs more frequently than La Niña. During an El-Nino event, the westward blowing trade winds weaken along the equator. These changes in air pressure and wind speed cause warm surface water to move eastward along the equator from the western Pacific to the coast of northern South America. These warm surface waters deepen the thermocline, which is the level of ocean depth that separates warm surface water from the colder water below. During an El-Nino event, the thermocline can dip as far as 500 feet. This thick layer of warm water does not allow normal upwelling to occur. Without an upwelling of nutrient-rich cold water, the euphotic zone of the eastern Pacific no longer supports its normal productive coastal ecosystem. Fish populations die or they migrate. El-Nino has a devastating impact on Ecuadorian and Peruvian economies. El-Nino also produces widespread and sometimes severe changes in the climate. Convection above warmer surface waters bring increased precipitation. Rainfall increases drastically in Ecuador and northern Peru, contributing to coastal flooding and erosion. Rains and floods may destroy homes, schools, hospitals, and even businesses. They also limit transportation and destroy crops. Now, as El-Nino brings rain to South America, it brings droughts to Indonesia and Australia, which are located on the opposite end of the Pacific. These droughts threaten the region's water supplies as reservoirs dry and rivers carry less water. Agriculture, which depends on water for irrigation, is severely threatened. Stronger El-Nino event also disrupt global atmospheric circulation. Global atmospheric circulation is the large-scale movement of air that helps distribute thermal energy or heat across the surface of Earth. The eastward movement of oceanic and atmospheric heat sources cause unusually severe winter weather at the higher latitudes of North and South America. Regions as far north as the US states of California and Washington may experience longer, colder winters because of El-Nino. Strong El-Nino events contribute to weaker monsoons in India and Southeast Asia. El-Nino is normally associated with record-breaking temperatures at the global level. The last 8 years were the world's 8th hottest on record, reflecting the longer-term warming trend driven by greenhouse gas emissions. The world's hottest year on record so far was 2016, that coincided with a strong El-Nino event. In the UK, temperature crossed 40 degrees Celsius for the first time last year. 2022 was the driest year on record in Europe so far. Currently, northeastern Spain is experiencing one of its worst droughts in decades, with Barcelona facing a severe water crisis. Italy is facing second straight years of drought. Glaciers in the Alps are receding at a faster pace, and with predictions of El Nino set to return, more rise in severe events cannot be discounted at all. The world needs to be prepared for these. This was all about El Nino and how it affects us. We hope you would like this new video. Thank you so much for watching.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.